All right, welcome back to Golf 215. I'm Anthony. He is Joe. What's up, buddy?
Not much, my friend. How you doing?
Doing well. We haven't been on in a little while. How's the game been?
Since we were last on, I'm trying to think how much I played. I did get out a few times. It's been good. I've been feeling good. I'm itching. I'm definitely itching to get out again. I think we're getting out this weekend. But it's been probably 2.5 weeks now at this point. Been watching a lot of YouTube golf, so I'm itching to get back out there.
Nice. Yeah, and we're trying to get out. We're playing this weekend, which will be our last round before the end of the handicap season.
Yeah.
And we're always talking about lowering our handicap. And speaking of that, we have a guest on this evening. He is zero to scratch on Instagram, and all of his socials. He's on TikTok, he is on YouTube, but primarily on Instagram. He is Brandon Bear. Thanks for joining us, Brandon.
Yeah, guys, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So we just discovered that we both kind of found you through different platforms. I found you on Instagram, and I don't think I was on board right away. I feel like I was close to the beginning though.
Yeah.
But Joe saw you on TikTok pretty early. So I think it's easy and it's right in your name, zero to scratch, right? You're trying to go from never playing golf to
Yeah.
a scratch handicap. Can you give us a little background on that and
Yeah.
what made you want to start this journey?
Mhm. Yeah, sure. So actually like last year I had some health issues and they put me on the couch for just too much time, right? And if anyone who's ever been stuck to a couch long enough can relate to this probably pretty easily. I was looking for an excuse as soon as I was able to have a hobby that just got me outside. Um Talked to my wife and like in my life there's a lot of things that were working out for golf to just kind of fit in, right? I'm in sales is my day job, so like most of the people at work golf. um and then of course just the benefits of the sport, right? Mentally, physical. um Pre-COVID I actually traveled the world working on cruise ships. So most of my friends don't even live in the US, so I was like, man, I need something to make more friends, be active, healthy, mentally healthy, and everyone at work golfs. Why not try it out? And so there was a work competition I knew that was going to come up in May this year. That was like a scramble. Um, Threw my hat in the bag, said, you know what, this year, fine, I'll do it. And I have no idea how to golf. And that was like back in February, I committed to it. And then March was coming in and I'm asking guys about it. Like, what do I need to do to get ready? I need to go get clubs. What should I do? Um, who's good? Like, what do I need to do to be competitive? And they're like, well, you won't be competitive because one of the guys is scratch. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. And after like a deep dive on Google and finding out, I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, how long does it take for someone to become scratch? And I don't know if you've ever Googled that, but there's no answer. And I was like, okay, bet like let's just go for it. And my entire life I've been one of those people who I'm like an all or nothing kind of guy. I probably have ADHD. Definitely have my brain all over the place. So if I'm not all the way in, I'm might as well not do it. And decided, okay, I'm going to deep dive and let's just record it on Instagram because I don't have enough storage in my phone to record it and see how it goes. And so it's like, I'll give myself a year. Worst case, I'll probably be good enough at golf to get invited to all the work stuff and probably healthier and have some fun. Best case, I get there. Um, can tell you one thing, I'm healthier and I'm having a lot of fun.
That's
That's
awesome.
that's incredible. And it's funny. So you're spot on with your if you were to Google how long does it take to come to be scratch, you're not going to get an answer, or you're going to get a
Mm-mm.
thousand different answers, or you're just going
Yeah.
to get the answer that it's not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing about the way that you're doing it the right way. And I'll let you get into that, as you break down like what your approach is. But you're doing the opposite of what I'm doing. I'm just going out there and trying to play and like, hey, why hasn't it happened yet?
Yeah.
So, but I was watching your videos. I'm like, I know that this is what I should be doing.
Yeah.
But so break that down for us. Like what is your approach, right? And you jump into this process and what's your
Yeah.
approach?
Yeah. So I do have a day job, right? So I'm doing all this around work and my wife and trying to have some of a social life as well. Um, but I'm doing a lot. So I work basically like let's just call it 9 to 6. That's close enough to accurate. Every day except for Tuesday and Sunday. So on days that I'm working, pre winter hours, because obviously now the sun's making it harder to golf after work. I was going before and after work. So we're talking anywhere from like 6 a.m. Leaving the house to hit the range and then go to work straight from the range and then go back to the range or like to maybe like a putting green, chipping green after work. And that's been like daily for 7 months. Um, Now because of the winter sun coming down sooner, right, with the time change, uh, yeah, I'm pretty much just getting up at 6, going until I have to go to work, and then increasing like now after work, it's going to be more like mobility things, like stretching. I'm look at my comment section, and you're going to hear a lot of people say I'm not athletic enough, but I'm working on it. And the funny thing is, I was an athlete at one point in my life, and just not currently. Um, so that's probably anywhere from like 3 to 5 hours a day. And then on the days that I'm not working, so like Tuesdays and Sundays, I'm usually going to play 1 or 2 rounds on those days, as well as usually getting a lesson and doing like more range work. Um, but I mean, the cool thing is like every time I do a round, everything I'm doing is tracked online. And so I can see like what was my worst issues, where are my problems, where am I losing strokes, and then take all that data to kind of choose what I'm working on for like the next week or so. So my practice might look like it's all over the place, but realistically, it's whatever I'm practicing on is probably what I struggled with in the previous round. And I mean, it's been working so far. I think so. Maybe not as fast as I want, but I don't think anyone's ever satisfied with their own progress. Um, but I
Especially
am
in golf.
progressing. Yeah. Oh
What,
yeah.
My
so when did you start, Jeff? When did you start?
April 1st.
Okay, and when you started, that was the first time you ever picked up a club.
Yeah, I mean, like I'd gone to like many golf places as a kid, but like as far as like an iron, didn't know what that was. Driver, woods, like no, none of that.
Okay. So where
Yeah.
where are you at right now, handicap wise?
15.2.
Smoking to both of us, Joe.
Yeah.
so and
Doesn't look
that's
like it. My last 3 rounds were like right at 100 at new courses. So if I don't have a good round soon, it's gonna start to go up.
and listen. So I was watching a couple things on what you just said. So one, as far as the comments about you need to be more athletic. The people making those comments are probably the same people that put those types of comments on like NBA player and like NFL player. So take
Yeah.
that with a grain of salt. Um, but that's insane because like I saw like even your first couple rounds out, right? Like back in April, when you're starting this, I think you're around like 120, 122, like in
Yeah.
there, right? Which a year or two ago, I was still putting up regularly.
Yeah.
I'm capable of doing it this weekend if I play the right course. Um, and I've been golfing since I was 16, but really dedicated to golfing for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
When I say dedicated to golfing, I mean playing a lot, not practicing, not getting out on the range, not practicing putts. It's literally just like my only practice is okay. I'm getting another round in this week.
Yeah.
Um, you're really fast tracking the process. So it's if you're looking for that comparison, right?
Yeah.
I started 2 3 years ago, right where you started in April, and I brought mine down to a 25 without all the practice and stuff like that. And in a third of the time, or less than a third of the time, you've brought yours down to a 15. So that's incredible.
Yeah.
And I should take some lessons away from this, and I do, but I also know myself, and I probably still won't convert, and I need to do that.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd recommend to anyone to golf quite as much as I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't think I
Um,
could do that.
but if you have no other hobbies or no other pastime and like didn't have kids, it's doable, right? Like this, I've given up other hobbies. Like this is my hobby now.
Yeah,
This and like my social life has shifted from like friend groups of all of this sort to now my friends and I golf, or gamble, but mostly golf.
that's just smart because
Yeah,
you're putting yourself right where you need to be to get people to go out with you. What
yeah,
what what have your sources been, right? So as you're going through, because I see that you had a lot of good different drills and stuff that you do. Like, what have your sources been to, figure out like if I need to improve my putting, here's some drills I can do. If I need to
yeah.
improve my short game, here's some drills I can do. Like, where do you go to like get those resources?
Probably like three main places, right? So the first one is I have a few different followers who don't necessarily probably want me to mention them by name, but like are um, former PGA professionals. I've had one who was a current PGA professional, as well as like multiple coaches who like when they message me, I actually like trust what they're saying because I'm like, dude, some of you have been on tour. So I really trust those messages and thank you to those guys who do it and lady. Um, but in addition to that, obviously I have a coach. Um, he used to be a PGA coach. Now he is coaching me because he wants to. Um, and then obviously I can ask on social media and I'm going to get sent every drill you can imagine. The harder part is not finding drills. The hard part is taking all of the drills that I find and filtering them down to what works for me. And that's the thing that I mostly work with my coach on. So what's hard in social media is like showing everyone everything, right? Y'all get these snippets, but he actually sees me like he's seen me play a full 18 more times than anyone else. So he knows when he sees me and I go, hey, these are the three drills I found. Like, do you think they'll work? He's usually going to be like, yeah. And most people, I'd say, if I post something, you'll see a trend. So like I'll ask people on social media all the time, and there will be a trend. So I'll get like video, 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 and then there will be one video that I get 18 times. And so I'm like, okay, let's look at that video, see what everyone is seeing. Now, what's funny is sometimes that video, when I send it to the PGA guys, to my coach, they're all like, no, like that's 20 handicappers sending you one video. So where I find it, those three places. Narrowing it down though is definitely through my coach and a couple PGA guys that I trust.
How often are you um, seeing your coach?
Uh, every week for sure, except for like the week I was on my honeymoon. Within a week, it could be as little as twice, as much as 6 days in a week. Um, like so this week I saw him twice already, and I'm gonna see him every day through Saturday.
Wow.
So, but thing is, like, we don't always work on things together. So, like, he could just come and purely, like, I don't get to know what he's looking for. He might just watch me. So, seeing him versus having an actual lesson isn't always the same thing. Sometimes he's there to review, sometimes he's there to teach, sometimes it's both. Uh, and let's be honest, he likes golf too. So sometimes I just hang out with him to golf, like that's not a lesson, but I do see him more often. And even what's cool is if you've ever played with someone who's drastically better than you, you'll notice that even if they're not there to teach you, you probably learned something.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what do you wish that you knew at the beginning of this process, right? And like if there's someone else who's watching you or listening to this, thinking about trying something like this, what kind of suggestions would you make to them?
Quit your job. No.
Be
I
independently wealthy.
Yeah, be independently wealthy and marry rich. No. honestly, I think the thing that I wish I just knew sooner was like there's multiple ways that can make golf more cost efficient. And I wish I knew some of those sooner, as well as I just wish I knew the difference in like course time versus range time sooner because things don't always translate. And that was really frustrating at the beginning. Um, just trying to figure out the balance. And like even right now, I'm still trying to shift more into course time than range time. It's just difficult to do with a full time job.
Sure.
Um, but that, and then I just wish I knew like some of the things are really stupid sounding when I say them now. But like, for example, I was thinking about this on my drive to golf, and I'm like, this morning, and I'm like, man, how silly is it that like when I first started, I didn't know what a glove was for, like a golf glove. And I still remember like the first round I ever played, I think I wore the glove like the whole 18 holes without ever taking it off because I didn't know what I was doing. Like, so there's little things like that where I'm like, now, like, you'll watch me play. I take my driver shot, take the glove off, go sit, put the glove back on for shots. If I'm chipping, I might not even put it on because I want to get the feel. Like, and it's these little things that, like, I feel like as a brand new golfer, you don't even know what to ask.
Yeah.
So,
You know, it's funny. And the one thing that I've learned over the past couple of years as I play more is like it's all different for everybody, right?
yeah.
Like I was in the same boat that you, and I think there's probably a lot more people in that boat than you think, right? That don't
Hmm.
know why certain things are happening. I'm a glove on for the entire round guy, right?
Yeah.
And it's just because of habit. Like I I don't necessarily like I don't feel that I personally get any additional feel taking it on, taking it off. So I leave it on.
Yep.
I know for a lot of people it's a mental reset after
Hmm.
each shot, right? Glove comes off, reset, next shot, glove goes back on.
Yep.
So it's a very methodical thing. But like the most empowering thing for me was when I got to the point where I realized it doesn't matter, right? As long
Yeah.
as you're doing what works for you, forget what everyone else is doing and just keep doing what
Yep.
works for you.
Yeah.
Um, and to what I was saying a second ago, to your point, most of us out there are faking something, right? Faking some part of our, or just
Yeah.
doing it because we think we're supposed to,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of people that don't know why things happen or whatever. And like, remember two things. One, we're out there to have fun and do what's working for you, right? You do
Yeah.
those two things, you're bound to succeed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Brandon, so you got fitted for a set of clubs recently, right?
Yeah, I just did another fitting. So I've had a fitting for my driver, my woods, my putter, and I just did the iron fitting.
So we talk about this a lot. We got fitted for clubs last year.
Yeah.
If you could go back to April 1st, would you have gotten fitted for clubs?
April 1st, no, but maybe like by the end of the first month.
Okay.
Yes. Um, and that probably will be a polarizing opinion, but I think
Yeah,
it,
why
it, it,
why
it
would you say that like at the end of
yeah. Um, well, only now because I know like that you can adjust clubs. Um, and what I've noticed is, yeah, my swings changed drastically. But what's cool is like with my woods, my putter, like they're it all comes down to affordability, right? If you can afford it, I'd say yes. If you can't, don't. Like it's not worth spending out of your comfort zone. But what I like about it is, and I'd say anyone who's golfed long enough will agree with me on this part, golf is mental. It is so mental, right? And being fit to a club, to your swing, even if your swing's going to change, brings a level of confidence that I think doesn't get enough credit, right? Like the second I got my new driver, I think it was around when I first broke 90, you know? And getting my new putter amplified that. And like I'm looking at these new irons now because I do think that I've outgrown my current ones in certain ways. Um, But I know that even if a lot of people are like, dude, your swing's going to change so much that by the end of the year, you're going to need to do this again. They're probably right. Um, but I want to do it now because I think no matter what level you're at, you benefit by having a club that's best set to you.
Yep.
For
Yeah,
sure.
and I no matter what any of us say, it's going to be polarizing, right?
Yeah.
And I agree with your assessment there. And what I'll say, because the way that you kind of framed it is if you have the money, right, to
Yeah.
take this approach. And I'll offer, an alternative if you don't have the money and you don't want to spend a lot.
Yep.
There are numerous ways where you can go out and get a used set of clubs or a prior generation club
Yep.
or 10-year-old clubs for very cheap, an
Yeah.
entire set. So if you're just starting out, or also reach out to your network, right? Because there's a lot of
Hmm.
us, like there's probably someone that you know,
Yep.
right? If you're out there right now thinking about getting into golf, there's probably someone that you know and you're friends with who's been golfing for a while and probably has a spare set. They might be willing to lend it to you. So
Yeah.
when you're first starting out, borrow a set, buy a second hand set for super cheap, right? Get out there, get your comfortability, get your swing down, then go out and get fitted, right?
Yeah. And that
Um,
touches same like how I was saying day one, no, I wouldn't have, but by day 30, I would have.
yeah,
Because once you know you like the game, it's worth it if you can afford it. And there's, like you said, so many ways to do it cost effectively. If like
yeah.
find your budget and find the club for you.
And that's a very expedited timeline, right? So if you're not
Yeah.
out there doing it every day like Brandon is, then it
Yeah.
might not be day 30 for you,
30 days of
right?
golfing.
30
That
days
could
of
be a year.
golfing. That's a good
That could
equivalent.
be a year for some people.
Right.
Uh, yeah.
What is your
Yep.
vision? Like, so where are we right now? What day are we at right now?
220.
220. So
Yeah.
what is your vision for here through the end of the first year of,
Yeah. I mean, so honestly, like all I care about for year one is doing everything I can to get to scratch or as close as possible, right? Um, I don't like to argue too much with people on the semantics, like what do you think your score will be? I don't think like that. Like to me, there's a finish line, and my finish line is at scratch. So I'm going for gold. Whether I get there or not doesn't really matter. Um, Now post year, it's it really will depend on where I'm leveled at by the end of the year. You know, if I've made it, I have plans. If I haven't made it, I have plans. Um, that I think the simplest one is if I haven't made it, the plan is to continue. Um, because whether you believe it or not, I do that I will eventually be a scratch golfer. I think at a lot earlier timeline than most people would probably believe is possible. And we'll see.
I'll tell you, if I'll be completely candid with you, if you
Yep.
had, if we were sitting here having this conversation on April 1st, I would be very, you know, hesitant and pessimistic, right? To think
Yeah.
that being said, talking to you at day 220, right? Seeing what the work that you've put in and
Mhm.
where you've already gotten, I have full confidence that you will get there because of the way that you're doing it, right? Don't set yourself a timeline because like I know for me personally, when I'm just trying to hit a specific number and get to a specific score, it's the worst thing that I can do.
Yeah.
You're just putting in the work, you're letting the work, show itself, and you're going to keep grinding until you get there. I think that's incredible. And if you ended it today and this was your final number, I would still say that this has been a resounding success,
Yeah.
right? To get to a 15. And the fact that you're going to keep grinding, keep working, keep, tailoring, the points of your game that need work, I think that's awesome. And I'm excited to watch the rest of it unfold, and see where you wind up. And I love to hear that you're going to kind of keep going with the process beyond that.
Yeah.
That's where I was going to go. So I said, for argument's sake, let's say you do get to scratch by the
Yeah.
end of the year or whenever you do, right? I think a good season two, right? Happy wife, happy life. Zero to scratch part two, wifey starts. Get
Yeah.
her out there with you and start her on the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah, I'm trying to get her now. So she's got her own medical issues where she can't go out when it gets too hot. So now I'm like, it's perfect. Let's go. So that's already in the works. I think post getting to scratch, most likely what I'd love to do in a perfect world is start going and golfing in more locations, and
Yeah.
with followers. So I've already played with multiple followers, a lot of guys who are local. Like if you live near me, I will play golf with you if I can find the time. Hard thing is just I get booked up so fast.
Yeah.
Um, but once I get to scratch, I definitely want to try. Um, I want to see all 50 states with my wife, anyways. It'd be really cool to do that and golf in all of them.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, when you're coming out this way, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in.
We'll
We're
hop
gonna
out with
take
you.
you out around the area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, you just listening to you talk, you are, far beyond where I think either of us or any beginner golfer is, from a mental standpoint. Do you
Yeah.
do anything, read anything, talk to anybody,
Yeah.
in regards to the mental game of golf?
Yeah. I've had throughout the process, I've had a bunch of different types of coaches. I've had swing coaches. I've had like physical coaches, like, TPI fitness coaches. I've also had a couple mental coaches that I've talked to, as well as like read some golf books, like, Golf's Not a Game of Perfect. That book stays in my backpack pretty much at all times. And when I have a rougher round, I'm probably reading it after. Same with if I have a bunch of hate comments, I'm probably going to read that book. um, but yeah, so I've
What,
done
what
a
was the
lot of
what was the
mental.
title? Sorry.
Golf's Not a Game of Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, it's a great book. And so I think it was early on in maybe like might have been one of my first three rounds, right? And I'm playing with someone, and I think it was like a par four or something like that. And like the first two shots are terrible. And he's like, now you just got to birdie a really short par three, is like what the guy next to me played. And I was like, that's a fun way of thinking of it. And he's like, yeah. He's like, you can't think about the previous shots. And he's like, and you suck either way. Like you're not good enough to be mad. So like just think of it as a short par three and have fun. He's like, you could birdie a short par three right now. And he's like, and then later when there's a real par three, you might do that again. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So um the other thing I'd say that the benefit of filming is you are now doing distracting things. So like when I hit like a really bad shot, instead of getting upset that like I just hit that and I'm gonna have to post it on social media, like I'm just thinking like, okay, I need to get there, I need to set up the next shot. Okay, where do I need to aim? Where do I want the ball? And being so focused on like, what do I need to do next? And having such a jammed schedule actually is more freeing in some ways because I don't even have time to think about it. Like the hate comments, the bad shots, I don't have time to think about it. Like I need to keep replying. I've currently probably got 85 DMs that I need to reply to and probably another 30 comments. Um, so if it's bad, I think I don't even have the mental capacity anymore to focus on it. And that's kind of freeing, right? Like you just think, okay, what do I need to do right now?
Yeah.
For sure.
Eh, that's a a challenge that so many of us struggle to get through.
Yeah.
Anthony and I like listen, we golf together all the time and we are constantly putting each other in check. And it's funny because like he'll be telling me something that I know, right? And I just need to apply. And then I'll look over at him. I'm like, hey, 2 holes ago, I could have said the same thing to you.
Yeah.
And like, it's
Yeah.
so easy when you're looking at the guy next to you and so hard when you're looking at yourself. So it's
Yeah.
like, if you can find, and that's back to the glove scenario, right? If you can find a rhythm, a method, a sequence, anything that you can find to kind of like be your reset, use it,
Yeah.
use it because it could be hugely important to your game and your mental sanity while you're out there.
Absolutely. And I'd say props to you too, because one of the other things on it is a lot of it comes down to who you play with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are people who I've played with that I probably would find an excuse not to play with again. And then there's other people like there's this dude, and I'll shout him out by name. His name is Joe Brown. And I'll tell you right now, if he ever asked me to play, I don't care what I'm doing, the answer is yes. because like I don't know if
Oh,
you've ever
okay. You
played
went a
with
different way with
someone
that.
Yeah, he
where
went the other way
where
I was
yeah,
thinking.
right? I know, hold on. But if you ever want to play with someone who like just every shot you take, you might as well have been like a Tiger Woods shot. Like that's the kind of group that I played with this guy. Like I don't know where he came from. I was just randomly invited to go play out with these guys. And when I tell you like I think that was my first birdie that I got on film. Like and if I put that video on social media, I have to cut it because there's too many explicit words of how excited everyone was. But like when you play with those kind of people, it's like night and day. Like you will shoot the best rounds of your life when you're just out there having fun.
That's so
That's
true.
awesome.
And we forget that way too often. Like,
Man,
this is supposed to be fun, right? And we're not pros. So what that you just hit a hosel rocket 40 yards to the right instead of, you know, 80 yards straight? We're not getting paid to do this. We're not expected to be good at it.
yeah,
Go out and have fun.
yeah.
Brandon, I know I am, I know Joe is. I'm sure our listening audience will be jumping on board soon too, if they're not already. Excited to kind of see how the rest of the journey unfolds. We're rooting for you. Hope you get there by the end of the year. So uh, good luck to you. If you're ever in the area, reach out to us. Would love to get out and golf with you and show you some of the courses around here.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
with that, do appreciate you coming on, sharing your journey with us. Um, is there anything that you would tell a beginner golfer or maybe even an intermediate golfer who is looking to kind of take the next step? Piece of
Uh,
advice.
I mean, I think my biggest piece of advice to any golfer at any level is to not take it so serious because no one, and I mean no one, will look at your scorecard after the year round, probably ever other than you, almost ever. Um, and the mental side of golf, it's hilarious. It is the best sport in the world because it can be so therapeutic, but it can also like destroy you mentally. If you want to get better, you really just have to remember no one else cares. So why should you? Just go out and have fun. And like even I still struggle with it sometimes, like, but the less tense you are, the better you're gonna play. So
100%. And that no one else cares piece
yeah.
is so true and so crucial.
Yeah.
We all spend all this time in our head like, oh my God, what's that person thinking about that horrible shot that I just hit? Guess what? They're not. You're the only one thinking about it.
Yeah.
So let it
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, they're over there looking for their ball.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So true.
we'll leave you with this. This is the second podcast in a row that I've done this. My battery's about to die, so if it does, I'll pass it to Anthony. But we like to end every podcast by asking, our guest, like, get, are we doing the album still, Anthony? Or are we switching gears to a
Album.
song?
Yeah, the album.
Um,
Yeah.
so give us one album that you can listen to front to back, any genre, no skips, and
Okay.
we'll throw it on our Golf 2 and 5 guest playlist.
Yep. So this one, this might be weird, probably one of the weirdest ones you're gonna hear. There's
Love
a
it.
guy named Nathan Evans, who is a Scottish dude. And his album, it's called 1994.
Okay.
But when I just tell you, like, for some reason, like when I listen to that, it's just relaxing and like it's all over the place. But there's like a song called Heather on the Hill that like has bagpipes in it, and like that's just it pumps me up to play like on the golf course. So
Well, I already know where we're going to listen to that one. So
yeah,
we're gonna fire that one on there, Anthony, and we're gonna take that one over to McCullis.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah,
yeah,
love that. Love
yeah,
that.
There's a course that we play in South Jersey, about hour and a half, 2 hours from where we are here.
yeah.
Um, it's kind of like a tribute course, but tribute of all European, like famous European holes.
Oh,
And
nice.
near 16 or 17, like off in the distance, they have like bagpipes playing, that you hear like from different spots on the course. So it's kind of
Yeah,
cool, but that might be the perfect soundtrack to take next time we go there.
For
yeah,
sure. For sure. Brandon, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate your time. Um, check in with us. We want to see how you're progressing.
yeah. Absolutely. Y'all can reach out at any time too.
Good
Awesome.
deal. We'll do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brendan.
See ya.